All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MMGL Season 2. This is our play at number 2. If you just missed it, we just finished off a game between Zero Gravity and the Third Eye Titans. The Titans taking that one on Coastline by a score of 7-1. And this game, we are going to have Tidal Elysium going up against Nameless Esports. This time, we're moving into the Smythe division. These two teams were originally predicted to be towards the bottom, but if you're going to start making a charge up the leaderboards, this is where you go for it. So getting into the map bans now, we've got Nameless taking out Border to start things off. That's back-to-back times to see Border being the first map banned, I believe. I think Border definitely a map that's fallen out of favor recently.
It's definitely not very popular anymore. It can be very frag heavy and it can be very strat heavy, but I don't know. Maybe it's just too old in the ESL standings. So who knows?
Yeah, I think the issue with Border is that the Armory defense isn't terrible. The Vents defense isn't terrible, but I think people just really struggle trying to figure out what that third one should be. I think it's the same problem Old Oregon used to have. There's just not a good third bomb site, and that makes it tough to play.
Yeah, and you've seen pros even trying to play, bathroom tellers or whatever. So it's a tough pick for sure. So
Yeah. So in other news, we see bans on Villa. Theme park, thankfully. Consulate, also thankfully. That lighting bug is just brutal. Oh my god. Clubhouse out and Coastline out. Don't mind seeing those bands either because I like some variety in my casting. And Coastline is a map we didn't see a lot last season in MMGL. Cafe is also a map I believe we only saw one time. And the one time I remember seeing it, it was a 7-0 win for what is now MMG Void over now disbanded Pure Loyalty Esports, not to be confused with Pure Tactics.
a lot of pure last season, wasn't there?
Yes, there are 3 of them.
So yeah, but definitely Cafe is this is a lot different from Coastline, where Coastline was a lot frag heavy and balls to the wall kind of play and run in, peak at the speed of sound and just kill people. This is kind of a more methodical play. This is kind of we need to get this. We need to get this. You got to make your check marks count, or else you might not be able to attack on even to the site. So
Yeah, I think Cafe is a map that I've really grown to like recently. I'm not a big fan of the clubhouse meta, where it's just utility up against utility, who can burn the most utility fastest, and go from there. Villa, I think, can be very similar, but it's not something like Coastline where it's a lack of utility being needed, or at least I think it's a good balance between the two, where you need a little bit, but let's just say you don't get the freezer wall open on a top floor attack. It's not the end of the world. You can still make something happen if you
yeah,
bring the right tools and you play it right.
for sure. Yeah, and it definitely goes over that 20-second meta that's been going around in Siege. It's you need to get all your stuff done, and then the very last 20 seconds you need to rush onto site and get that plant down, or else it's hard to get that 20-second meta undone. So
It's a casters and spectators' worst nightmare. Right up there with having players named after operators. Shout out to Nomad. Uh, that's always fun to deal with. But the 20-second meta is brutal. From a player's perspective, it really breaks down that element of teamwork. There's no communication involved. It's just,
it's
are you
mechanical at
lucky
that
enough
point.
to catch them? Yeah, can you hit your shots, and is someone have their back turned to you? That tends to be the key.
Yeah, and both these teams, and being in the Smith division, they actually they had a few people on Monday that they actually got to see in the same Smith division as well. So maybe we'll see if they can they even let's say what is the word I'm trying to use? Let's see if they can live up to the standards of what we saw on Monday. So
Yeah, we did see 2 great games on Monday between Farside and Zero Gravity Flare, as well as Rampant Methods versus Final Shot. Two really solid games.
Both on
Uh,
Clubhouse as well.
yes, we saw Final Shot and Farside take the wins, which puts them, I believe, Farside had the better margin of victory, and is currently the #1 seed in the division. But someone's going to join them as three teams being uh undefeated, so to speak, at 1-0,
Hmm.
and we're going to have three teams at 0-1.
And I think this will be a good representation too. Cafe is a lot like Clubhouse, where it's there's vertical play, but there's also a lot of strategy involved. So I think this will be a good comparison, and we'll have to see what Tidal Elysium and Nameless can put to the table in their division.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle. Both of these teams struggled a little bit more than some of their divisional counterparts in qualifiers, which is why they were placed towards the lower end of the power rankings to start. But hey, that was preseason, that was qualifiers. This is something new. We're gonna see what they have. So we've got everybody loaded into the lobby, ready to start the game, and we will commence action now. It's once again Nameless Esports in blue up against Tidal Elysium, formerly known as Tidal Onyx, formerly known as the Romanians, formerly known as Pub Armada, on orange.
Yeah, a lot of name changes going on around these two teams, huh?
Yeah, it's been a busy 2 weeks. So getting into the bans, what are some default bans on Cafe?
Cafe, definitely some default bans would definitely be a hard breacher. If I don't see a hard breacher, that's probably going to be a big surprise, especially a Thermite being able to get the long angles open. Maybe even a Maverick. Maverick is pretty prevalent on this, as well as Thatcher on attack. So at least a hard breach, I would assume. But also, it's a big map. There's a lot of room for roaming, so who knows? Defense definitely hard denial breach or hard plant denial. So Echo, Maestro, Mira. Mira is definitely prevalent on the top site when you put it in cocktail. You see that quite a lot going around lately. So that's my take on Cafe. So
yeah, well, we got the Jackal ban, we got the Mira ban. Good riddance to Mira, my least favorite operator in the game.
she
I
puts she puts so much hurt into people's heart. It's not very fun to play against the Mira.
I just it's the same thing with the new deployable shields. It's just I don't enjoy the gameplay that stems from them. Getting taken out by a person that you really can't see. It's not exactly wall hacks, but it feels kind of like it.
It's pretty close to it, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. So,
It's
but yeah, what we saw was pretty close. I mean, Mira, Echo, those are pretty standard bands. Thermite,
mhm.
pretty standard band, and the Jackal, that's a pretty standard rank band right there. If I've ever seen one. So,
Let's see what they got here now.
yep.
On Nameless Esports, we have Neo, Tempest, Better Call Saul, Hellboy, and Hughes going up against the Tidal Elysium roster of V-Grays, Vexer. Yeah, we're going with Vexer, Exility, Hydros, and Leak. Something interesting right away is not going to be Clash, getting 6-pick to a Pulse. And we have Blackbeard. Hellboy, you have cemented yourself as one of
I
Trang's
was
personal favorite players in all
I
of
was just about to
MMGL.
say.
We
I
have a
was just about to
Blackbeard,
say,
man.
Treg, they're going Blackbeard.
We have
Your
a
favorite.
Blackbeard, man. Let's go. Caster's predictions. Nameless Esports takes it. They're running Blackbeard.
They ran a Blackbeard. But yeah, that's that Clash trying to put a little fear into there. But six picking into a Pulse, I kind of like that though. That's I like that. I do.
We have a situation here. We are defending reading and dining room.
That's that almost looks like they're starting with their tertiary. I don't know if that's a possibility, but
I mean, I make the 6-pick to a Pulse. This is a good site for Pulse. I like that. Huh. I'm a little
Yeah.
lost for words at this juncture. I'm trying to figure out.
We've been kind of seeing this lately, though, haven't we? We've been seeing people not starting on the the traditional sites, to say it. So like they didn't start going upstairs, or whatever. So I do like this kind of meta of throwing your opponent off, going to a different site that they wouldn't expect. I do appreciate that. So
Yes, definitely helpful. It adds some variety to it. I have personally seen this bomb site defended in comp only a handful of times. That's myself playing and spectating and just being around the competitive scene. Something I'm seeing in this current competitive scene is a lack of Hydros being alive as he gets caught walking out of freezer by, you guessed it, the Blackbeard. Running the Mark 17, not sure I support that. Doesn't have the bacon skin equipped, but otherwise, I'm still impressed. And we see this top floor roam already starting to fall apart.
it's I mean that's pretty typical if you have this kind of, maybe they're just trying to bait them in a little bit more. Maybe they don't want to go for that top roam as much. They do have the pulse. They do have, Mozzie. They have Valkyrie. They have a ton of C4. But who knows? Maybe they just stick with the stay on site strategy. Who knows?
We do see Grays pick off the Nomad down towards the first floor, but Leak will get picked off as well. And it's a 4v3 situation for Nameless here. They have the numbers. That C4 missed. That's huge. There's 2 more to go. If both of them connect, that could be very impactful. But the pulse is going to be downstairs waiting for the plant. Ooh, Gray's coming very close to beating him. Bad timing. Will not get the C4 off and will lose a good bit of HP. Not a great situation here trying to clutch this out now down to their C. Not a lot of manpower in HP. Nameless stacking up inside of pillars. Gonna try to get their push through here. Hellboy will take out Exility in the fight. And Grays and Vexer are left in a 1v2. Plant going down inside of Reading. Not in the area to deny it with C4. Hellboy with his third of the round takes out V-Gray. Vexer left in a 1v4. Defuse is planted. He's castled out of that particular avenue. Drone spots his location. He's going to have to try to make his way through here. Not a good situation for the man named Vexer. And Hughes will take him out. And that is a round 1 for Nameless in solid fashion. 4 men left on the board. Not a lot of them taking damage. Impressive start there. Makes you question if hopefully that's not the bomb site they felt most confidence in their defensive abilities at, and that was just trying them trying to throw a curveball, because that curveball was hung out over the plate and crushed into deep left center.
Yeah, that was definitely a home run there, wasn't it? Blackbeard picking up a couple kills. I know you appreciated that. So
absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised though, not more of those C4s hit. There was a ton of people stacked up in Cocktail at one point, and just C4s just wouldn't hit. They barely even took damage off, and that's huge. That's really, really huge. But in the end, they lost it anyway. I don't know if Wars would have done anything in the end, because it looked like, they were pretty dominant. They kind of stomped them at the end. So
yeah, that was like I brought up in our last game, the transition game. The roam clear was effective. They got 2 kills, lost 1, but when it came down to going from the roam clear to going on to site, they didn't lose any men in that transition. They got the kills they needed to on the anchors. The couple of people who were still off site, they cut them back on their way back in. Just well executed all around there by Nameless, and they win the roars around as a rule. So going down to the first floor, that's something I like. I tend to prefer the basement defense to the top floor defense. That's me personally. I think I'm in the small minority, but both sides very defendable. We have Frost in play. What do you make of this?
honestly, I don't know what to think about this. Like a Frost being played is so. it's so rare to see in any sort of gameplay, in ranked, in pro league, even in any sort of small league. You don't see Frost played a lot. Maybe they're just trying to scare him a little bit into thinking, okay, we need to check every single thing. We need to slow it down with the Frost mats. You do see Grace putting him in a couple interesting spots, but maybe he's just a Frost main, you know? Maybe he just loves the gun. Maybe he just loves the equipment. Maybe he plays super well with it. And, you know, who knows? Who knows?
Well, I do know one thing, and that is Tidal Elysium is in a rough situation here, losing 2 players in the first minute. 2 of the better anchors you have on the board with Maestro and Smoke. You still got a Frost lying prone inside a bakery. That's going to be an interesting linchpin now on this defense. And Jaeger and Small Bakery, they've actually completely exposed the backside of this map. Vexer on site, really the only thing left between Nameless and site control. So
yeah, we need to see what they do without that plant denial, though. That's really huge, with the Maestro and the Smoke both gone. So we'll have to see what they eventually put out with that, because they only have C4 left. So
yeah, this is not a great situation. You got the Buck up above, opening up all the important angles. Gets eyes on that Frost. Doesn't manage to get the shots on him in time, but will escape unscathed. Minute left, time to probably start thinking about moving their way down. Hydros gets the kill on Better Call Saul. That puts them in a better spot here. This 4v3 looks a lot more winnable than it did a moment ago.
and that was Heartbreacher as well. So that's a big pick.
The main wall was partially opened, but yeah, you definitely didn't want to. Especially if they wanted to try to open up Freezer. Oof. Tempest playing a dangerous game with 1 in Small Bakery. His position is now known. You'll peek around and let the shot, and Hydos goes down. Vexer and V-Grays left in sight. Vexer gets some damage. Go for the C4 toss. Will not connect with anybody in particular. V-Grays trying to hold down an angle on the other side, but there's only 10 seconds left. Vexer gets 1 kill. Hellboy not able to get the kill immediately, but Hughes comes in to try to back off, and Hughes gets the kill onto the Frost as well. And that will be a second round 1 for Nameless. Cutting it very close on the time. Very, very close on the time. It got towards the end and the plant was not going down, but Hughes, the nice double kill, wraps it up.
And the C4 again missing from the Elysium side. That would have been a huge C4 if it would have hit anything, but it didn't hit anything. And in the end, they lost the round, maybe because of that. So really good 20-second meta seen from Nameless there, though. They pushed the site very effectively. They knew what they were looking for in the end, and overall they pretty much just rush site and won that round. So
you would have liked him probably get a little more aggressive, send that Nomad and the Zofia down a little earlier. I think the Buck had the vertical control, mostly under wraps, especially since it wasn't being overly productive anyways. Tidal was doing a good job of playing it safe and not peeking the unnecessary angles. But it worked out in the end. If they were a little swifter on that transition, they probably could have made it a little less close at the end. Vexer had hit a couple more shots there. If it wasn't a Blackbeard, perhaps they deny the plant long enough to win the round on time expiry. But it's just not the case. And so we move on to round 3 with Tidal needing to win a round. Probably sooner rather than, or else they're going to see this game slip away, because I think no one will deny that this is the type of map where 4-2 defense is pretty, defensive F is pretty normal, seeing that this site as well as the first floor are both very, very solid sites.
yeah, Cafe is definitely seen as this, seen as this defensive map. You see that a lot with the new maps that get put into Pro League. We saw it with We saw it with Oregon. Oregon started to fall off of being a defensive-sided map and started becoming that attack-sided map. That just kind of goes with being a new map. People still haven't figured out exactly how to play it, how to attack it. It's a lot easier to know how to defend than know the ins and outs of attacking. But yeah, they need to start picking up some rounds, or this defense is going to be put to waste very quickly. So
Hughes continues to pick up kills. That will be his 5th of this very young game at this point. V-Grays gets taken out early. Not what you want to see. That's your Vigil down too. That's a big part of your roam. Better Call Saul takes a lot of damage. This attack is incredibly centered upon these windows. Are we seeing a wall? I have not seen one of these in a long time. Fortunately, putting that trap. Yeah, I cannot tell you the last time I saw a Windows take on this bomb site.
I don't know. This is they didn't bring any hard breach. Maybe it was that exact reason why they didn't. But maybe they had it all planned in the end. You do see people still flanking around towards piano, but for the most part, like you said, it's a Windows take and it's working.
It's working exceptionally well, as Hydros is currently the only member left alive. And that does not hold true for long, as Tempest will finish him off. Okay. I don't think anyone would call that meta, but I think we can all agree that that was exceptionally well done there.
A flawless round in the end as well. Nobody dying, and it was all on a Windows take. Nobody brought hard breach. Nobody even touched a hard breacher that whole time. They were like very committed. You could see it right from the start. They went, all right, we're bringing everything utility based, and we're gonna take cocktail. And just so happens that was pretty easy for the Nameless boys. I think it's no denying they knew how to take that site.
I'm not entirely sure if we can call that like replicable even, because the moment they realize there's 5 people on those rappels, you don't even need to go for the roam, like the runouts. You just play on New Balk Hatch and you hold long angles there on the windows. Like eventually they need to rappel in. But they just kept peeking, they just kept dying. One of them tried to get up White Stairs, that didn't work. They just tried to play in and around Heaven and that renovated part of the bar. Did not work. And yeah, I think just about every single aspect of that defense could be fallen into the category of did not work. And
they literally just held angles the entire round. They got on the part where they needed to be. They said, okay, we're here. Literally just let them roam, do their thing. They need to come back to site eventually. And what did they do? They came back to site eventually, and they just died because everybody was holding angles perfectly, and then they were able to take cocktail, and it looked like they got the plant down. I'm not entirely sure in the end, but it was flawless, so that's huge.
If it did not get down, it was a 1v5 and in the process of going down.
Yeah, it was very close, to say the least.
So we see Nameless getting ready. I don't see any reason why they would vary up their attack much. It worked well last time. Then again, 2 people died spawn peeking. I'm not entirely sure they can replicate that success. The key is going to be Leak here. Playing an interesting game of swap utility with his smoke canisters and that deployable shield. They're going to try to have to get him out of here first. He does have an ADS, he does have the shield. Not the first operator I would have picked to put behind you, the smoke, seeing that he's so critical late in the round, and the SMG-11 is by no means a long-range power weapon, as it has been in the past, but hey, sure, why not?
Definitely an operator that delays time and just doesn't allow you to push as much as you want. So maybe that's their hope, is just to waste time.
That could very well be the case. Though if that was the intent, I would have reinforced the wall and put and tried to kill time there. They left the wall open, which makes you think that's the position they want to play the entire round. Hughes will get the kill onto V-Graves. That's back-to-back rounds with V-Graves being the opening death. And I think that's 3, maybe 4 straight where Hughes has gotten the opening pick. He's been very effective in that one. So credit to Hughes. Hydos, though, will get the kill onto Neo, bring into a 4v4. Hughes will drop down. He's got one inside of dining, but he can't quite. Second. He's got people hunting him, one in reading. It'll be Tempest coming after him next.
Graves being the first dead again is not great for the defense. He's been picked off almost every time within the first minute 30. You'd like to see him get more out of his roam. Keep going with it. Stay alive. Don't rush into a fight.
Especially as Vigil, someone who can kill clock very effectively. But we see Hellboy with the wallbang kill onto Hydos. Wall left open, unreinforced, or hatch left unreinforced. So that'll get opened. Or maybe the Habana got it. I think the Habana was the one to open it. But nevertheless, hatch is open. That wall is getting open as well. They're going to try to take that bakery control. 15 seconds though with that smoke. They don't have a lot of clock to work with. This round has gotten away from them very quickly. Habana having to run through that smoke cancer, about to hit some lesions. Will manage to catch said lesion off guard. Walking away the site. Bearing 9, unable to control it. Did not have enough rounds to take care of the smoke. There's another defender left alive anyways. Round ends in a 2v2 still.
Very interesting set of plays. That 20-second meta coming back into play again. It was kind of weird because, like we were saying before, you know, that smoke was playing in bakery. What are they going to do? Why did they keep the wall open? But in the end, it actually worked because it looked like they were pushing, you know, freezer side anyway. It looked like they were pushing maybe the lobby area and down that stairs. But they didn't take out bakery. Smoke was still playing in bakery. He could easily rotate back on the site. There was nothing really to stop him from doing that. And, well, the Habana missing her shots was a little unfortunate. That could have changed the round drastically. But in the end, maybe that strat actually worked out for the better. And what do we know anymore, right? What do we know anymore?
I mean, give the round MVP to Hydro. Did a good job on that. Got a couple of pivotal kills. It looked like that really caused the Buck to struggle, or killing the Buck was a struggle for Nameless. They didn't have that ability to open up floors. They didn't have a lot of punch left on their attack trying to get into sight. So now we go back to this top floor. Defense adapting, bringing a Goyo. Hopefully they're set. You'd think they'd be setting up for this Windows take again, but with these shields are going down, they look like they want to go down. Those are highly exposed to the windows some more. So hopefully Axility realizes that and will start to turn this around. But I can see these shields as they're currently set up being much more of a detriment than they are an asset.
Goyo works both ways. It's just like a Maverick hole. It's just like, you know, anything that is double-sided or stuff like that, it goes both ways. So if you're going to play behind that Goyo shield and you're close to that and it blows up, that's on you, man. That's... I don't know. These Goyo shields are definitely interesting. I don't mind the setup only if they're attacking Cigar Piano.
Yeah,
what did we see last time? They went Cocktail. So
for a default meta attack, those are well set up. I like those. Maybe would have moved one a little closer, but not bad. But if Nameless continues on that same attack, those are not going to be good. But the attack is setting up. Looks like for something a little different. They do seem to be going from meta take, which is unfortunate, as I think that window take may just not be a pocket strat until you see Tidal adapt to it. I would have stuck with it, even if it is a pocket strat. Stick with it. Take a look at it and realize they did not adapt.
Yeah, it's we'll have to see what the defenders actually use with those Goyo shields. They're all placed in cocktail area. So they could be easily taken out by the window, but we'll see if they actually are effectively used in the end.
We see Hydros get the opening kill with a run out onto Hughes. That's big. Hughes has been the top fragger here for Nameless, the big entry player for them. Exility with a little pixel through the skylight will get a second kill. A nice shot by him. Neo will get down from what I can only assume was a C4 through the floor. And Tempest and Saul are in a tough situation here. Not able to get to the revive yet, if at all. Looks like they will go for it. No. Oh, in fact, we'll get C4'd on their way to go save him. Saul will get a kill onto Hydros to bring this into a 4v1 and prevent the flawless round. But is this a clutchable round? At the moment, I would say likely not.
Yeah, 1v4, I'm going to say it's over by this point. We haven't seen the full potential of Better Call Saul, but hey, maybe he's got it in him. You never know that we've seen crazier things happen, that's for sure.
I think what they're doing is they're using this as a quick timeout, which is something I kind of like. This is something I always used to do when I was captaining my teams in a definite not clutchable situation, and there's like 40 seconds left. I would just take those 40 seconds. I would just lie down in a really safe place outside as an attacker and say, all right, what went wrong? What do we want to use? But then again, that usually happens when we're losing by like 4 or 5 rounds. When you're up 3-0, yeah, just take your time.
Yeah.
He got 2 kills. He boosted his KD, even though he died. It's 3-2 now. My apologies, but 3 attacking wins already on Cafe. Even if they drop this third one, they lose the momentum. But in terms of like just positioning going into half 2, you're in good shape. You've done well.
Yeah, that's definitely a good attacking side.
When the attackers come out in a tie at the end of the half, you could say they have won the half.
For sure, yeah.
Caveira. No.
Caveira play? Oh my goodness.
Maybe. Yeah, she hasn't six-packed to anything else yet, Mute. Is it a boring play? Yes. Is it a smart play? Also yes. So Vexer teasing us with some interesting operators. He was the one who hinted at a clash play earlier, but 'tis not the case so far. Playing.
I can't believe it. We're gonna see Cav. We would have seen Cav. We would have seen Cav. A tier rolls down all Cav mains. We will not see nice Caveira plays. That's for sure.
I remember from my competitive days, my girlfriend was constantly telling me, she also being a player on the team, I want to play Cav. Let me bring out Cav. No, don't do it. I've never been a believer in Cav. I gave up on Cav somewhere in the middle of year 1, season 3. I was just never a fan.
She's so situational now within Siege that it's almost like you need to know exactly where you're going to play her, how you're going to play her, and where they're coming from. Nowadays, Cav is she's not that relevant, but the tease was enough to maybe frighten Nameless a little bit, but I think they probably would have seen this coming with the 6-pig. So.
Why is V-Grays dead? Where?
See, this is the problem with his roam game right now. Is it's not even a minute into the round. Grays, why are you dying? Why are you dying like this, Grays? You need to stay alive. Your pulse. You have a C4 and a heartbeat sensor.
I can't find the body for what it's worth. Maybe it was through the window. But V-Grays is dead. Hydros also died from that particular window. Neo with 2 kills in quick succession. And with 2 minutes to play, there's a 2-man advantage for Nameless here. So good work by the Nameless captain, getting that early double kill, setting himself in a position to probably win this round. Exility, Vexer, and Leaker pull off something funky here to bring this one back.
Look, Elysium, we need to talk. Like, losing a Jaeger on a roam, not that bad. But Gray's losing his roam almost every time within the first couple minutes. That's not how you roam, man. This has got to be making his team a little upset. Like, this is not how you win games. You need to be able to use that roam better.
Well, Exility will get a Nitro Cell. That is 3 of those in the last 2 rounds. That has been an effective tactic for sure. Maybe just start bringing 5 C4 operators and keep going with that. I guess Pulse does qualify, so oops, never mind. We've got the remaining players though trying to make something happen. Leak might try to take a peek out here through pillars. Neo gets downed. Neo maybe through a hatch on the floor. That Mozzie almost gets the better of Better Call Saul. Will light him up, but Hughes will pick him off from above. And it's now down to Vexer and Exility. Vexer gets the 1 pick. Nope, never mind. Hughes drops, turns, and burns. Good kill by Hughes. Vexer, unfortunately, not able to hit the shot he needed to. And Exility finds himself in a 1v4 defuse clutch scenario. He's coming in from the hallway. He has marginal totals of HP after that wallbang clipped him. Looks like he just go try. Oh, more wallbang shots. Oh, lucky. I want to call that a lucky spray, but we'll give it to him. He's got 3 more to find though. He's got 1 on his left. He seems to be able to run right by him. Gonna come back around, but get taken out from Better Call Saul all the way down the other end of the pillars. And that will be a 4-2 halftime lead for Nameless Esports. It was a pretty clean half right there.
For sure, yeah, it was definitely clean for the Nameless boys, but Elysium not looking very good on the defensive side, on a defensive cafe as well. They had the right ideas. I will give them that. They definitely have right ideas with off angles and good rotations as well. I really appreciated, like, in that last round, the Mozzie shotgunned past the red hall and got into, you know, pillars and tables area. But they just couldn't win their gunfights. They were struggling so much, they just couldn't hit their shots. Even that buck that dropped down through, you know, heaven. That buck should have been dead. The mute barely missed.
Yep.
It's really disheartening to see. Like, they have the plays, they just couldn't hit their shots, and in the end, gunfights won rounds pretty much on that one.
I think definitely part of the issue has been just, I think every single round, Nameless has gotten the opening pick except for 1, I believe, and that was a Tidal Elysium win. So that was 5 rounds with an opening pick for Nameless, and they won almost all of them. The only one they lost was the one where they just ran out of time, and Hydros made some plays on the roam. You see Exility and Hydros, 5 kills and 4 kills. The rest of the team struggling with 2s and 1s. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you got 8 for Hughes, Saul with 6, Neo with 4, Hellboy with the same, though most of them came in round 1, and Tempest with 3 of his own. Everyone on that team has a positive KD or better. They've been playing well as a team.
And on the other end, you only have 1 in Exility that has an even KD. So that's like last game. That's a big gap. That is a really big gap to pull back in for a second half of Siege. Like, you need to fix something. And
yep.
maybe it's not getting picked in the first minute, but we'll see. We'll have to. Attack is completely different than defense, so maybe you never know. Maybe Elysium comes out and their attack strats are god, and they win rounds like you've never seen before.
Right, Hydros is already in small bakery taking fights. But yeah, to your point, 9 out of 10 Siege professionals recommend surviving the first minute. Exility with a good opening pick will take out Neo or Tempest over in coat check. That's a good pick right there, getting the Mozzie off the board and ready to start making some progress into sight. They already have first floor control, and I don't believe there's a second floor roamer. So if they get some kills on this pinch here, they'll be in good shape. Hughes gets taken out by Leak, even though Hydros is on low HP. They've got 5 attackers on the board still for Elysium. And Vexer will pick off Saul. A down for Hellboy. Neat gets a kill on the V-Grade. Back into a 2v3. HP on both sides a little worse for wear. Oh, Defuse is down in the back of sight, though. Hellboy peeks a tight angle and will get taken out from the hallway. Neo will trade him. In what's essentially a 2v2 as Vexer should bleed out. No, will get revived. But there will be no reviving of Hellboy as he gets finished. They're just missing each other. Neo gets shot from both angles and he'll get taken out. Good job by Elysium to pinch that final one, not getting the trade. Just a swift execute right there. They realized there was no roamer. They made the push and they won the gunfights. There's not much more to say about that.
Yeah, plus there was a ton of time left on the board when they were even, when they were in sight. So Elysium with a very horizontal take, but it worked. So power to them. That was a really good take by them.
Good work there. I know as a color commentator, it's probably one of the hardest things to go off of is, I know there's not much to talk about here. Handing it off to you. Good luck.
Yes, I appreciate that, Trey. That was a very good round to go off. Yes.
Setting up for success here.
Yes.
Good round there by Elysium. Going on to the attacking side on Cafe, it'd be really easy to lose your momentum that you built up towards the end of that half, winning 2 out of 3. By taking that round there, maybe that puts Nameless off their rhythm. That does bring them to the top floor, so it seems like they're going to try to stick to their predetermined plan. But that prevents them from, if you're down 5-2, that's not a situation to come back from. When you hit that 5-round mark, 5 rounds lost, and you only have less than 3, if you're down by 3 rounds and the other team has 5 or more, that's when it's crunch time for you. You really can't afford to go down 6-3, 6-2, even 6-4 is a tricky spot to be in. But if you bring it into 4-3, that gives you a little more wiggle room. You want to be making your comeback. Yeah, you want to be making a comeback when there's 4 rounds against you, not when it's up towards match point.
We'll see if maybe Elysium can come back. They're only down by 1 round at the moment, so hopefully they can bring. They have the utility. They have all fraggers, just like Nameless did on that cocktail push. They're doing the same thing with all fraggers. They have tons of utility to use, and we'll see if in the end this actually pays off.
They do seem to be making some progress already. Looks like V-Graze is going to try to play some vertical coming in at bottom pillars. I like that. I think that's really underused here because there's some really strong anchor points in Heaven and New Balk, and if you can get both of them, that, as someone who's a notorious anchor, that is so annoying. So, looks like V-Graze might be going for that. Yeah, it does, and Tempest at his position there. So good work by V-Graze and Elysium to get that pressure on already. But it looks like Elysium is falling into the top floor trap, as I like to call it, of sitting on the roof for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Time is ticking and nobody has entered the building. I say that as they enter the building. But now they've got to start making plays, and Hughes has that first kill. And there's another one lying prone in his sights. He just literally in his sight, and Leak will get away with his life, even though he's on start that engagement. And Neo will stray right into those bullets and get taken out as well. So it didn't start well. Hydros got taken out into a 3v3, but things seem to have turned around. V-Graze with a refrag on the Hellboy also gets Better Call Saul. Now nice shot by Leak takes out Tempest. We have ourselves a tie ball game. Wow.
I don't know how that round was such a weird round. A lot of people just barely missing out on like a visual cue or audio cues, but it was so weird. It looked like they were trying to quick drop the hatch, and I guess it kind of worked. In the end, it worked. So
that could have gone very, very differently if
it could have gone the other way in a hurry. That's for sure.
If that buck died when he was on his cams, that's 2 people, or that would be 1 more player left alive for Nameless right there, as well as that player playing on drywall would have been forced that position. And all that's a huge, and that got him killed. So that's a huge swing right there. Just unfortunate the sight picture caught up or got the person stuck. Obscured the vision. That's the term. Obscured the vision is what we're going with. And,
this game so far has been like the analyst's worst nightmare. Everything shouts defense, defense, defense on Cafe. And what has it been? It's been all offense. We've only seen 2, what is it, 2 defensive rounds that have been won?
Rounds out of 8.
And they were close as well. They were not blowouts by any means.
We have not seen a resounding defensive. We saw one resounding. We saw one. One of them was.
Yes, you're right. Yep. That was. There was one. Okay, so I'm mistaken on that part, but.
No, it's okay. I messed up too. Shout out to you. This is your first. Tree Bear here is a rookie caster here for MMGL, making debut. Rookie caster, anywhere I believe, right? Or at least a nice.
Yeah, I've had 2 casts before this, but this is the first one with MMGL, and happy and proud to be here. So I appreciate it.
Happy to have you here. You have not sucked.
I appreciate it. That is a good comment. Whenever somebody says, "Hey, you don't suck," that lightens the day. So thank you, Drake. That was a good comment. I appreciate it.
So right away we see Leak being dead. That does suck. Not saying Leak sucks, just overall the situation. Hughes gets the opening pick, and he will take a moment to heal himself back up from the safety, and he will die anyways to Hydros, who walks on in and hits his shots, and Graze gets a pick himself, but is downed. Exility gets a kill, takes a lot of damage. Well, looks like Graze will revive himself. That Zofia ability coming in handy. And we have ourselves a 2v4, but with the HP of these attackers, I would almost give the advantage to Nameless.
Yeah, I don't. This was a hard push on a bakery. I mean, they got bakery in the end, but what was the cost? We'll have to see what the round progresses.
This is how it will progress. Vexor will just kill both of them. Nice shot. And nice shot. All right, there you go. Vexor, job well done. Round 1, moving on. 5-4 Tidal Elysium.
Right as I say anything, I might as well just anything I say just fly out the window, because after what I just said, they pretty much just took it right then and there. So I appreciate it, Elysium. Thank you for making me look like an idiot.
We are watching the Siege meta just crumble before our eyes.
Yes, this is not the typical meta, that's for sure.
We have seen 0 hard destruction of any meaningful hard destruction in this game. We saw more hard destruction
I just saw both those kills. Yeah, that's an easy. That's an easy right there. That's NS easy right there. Those were some clean shots, to say the least. So
yeah.
I don't know. This is not the same Elysium team. Did they make a sub? Did they change something about the way they were playing? Because this is not the same Elysium. This is 100% different.
We saw
This
them
is insane.
playing aggressively on their defensive half. Nameless punishing them for. It was not working, to say the least. But this time around, the aggression seems to be playing into their favor. They're just winning their fights. And Nameless is trying to set up strategically, but they can't seem to account for it. So I mean, they've got to start soon. They've watched their 4-2 lead turn into a 5-4 deficit.
And it looks like they're trying to counter that with a Capcan pick. Now that's interesting because they do have an IQ. It's also interesting because, as we all well know, Capcan traps are very visible, unlike Legion traps or Echo drones, whatever. They're very visible. So we'll see if the Capcans can be put in correct spots so that they're used effectively. Because, like you said, they have been just aggressively pushing in. So maybe the Capcans will counter that.
And let's be honest.
Hopefully we get to see some good Capcan play.
When you play IQ, you usually don't actually use that strategy. It's kind of just like another just charges. What I think is a better gun in the 5.2 Commando.
G8 is very, very strong. It's become a good meta gun, that's for sure.
B-Grays, which is an absolute nut shot right there, running into the middle of the map, the literal middle of the map, will get the kill onto Better Call Saul, who was caught blissfully unaware. B-Grays, I'm not entirely sure what his end game was, running right into the of Hellboy, and Vexer's picked off as well. So a good advantage here for Nameless, as they look to bring this back into a tie game, regain control of this match.
Pretty aggressive push into the red hall. That was, I mean, it paid off, but he also got killed in the end. So
yeah, it was a good one-for-one trade. I think that does favor the defenders at that point, but moving on. We see Elysium trying to work on their Hydros hits his shots on the walls right there. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
This is so weird to watch. I don't know what to say anymore.
I can't say they're not playing well, but I can certainly say this game is bizarre.
No, they're definitely playing very well. It's just this meta is just weird. I don't know what to say about it. So,
well, Hydros is going to probably be the spearhead of this push at Yash. He's going to have to try to get rid of this Jaeger. Tempest will get the pick onto Auxiliary. Leak and Hydros in a tough situation here. 2v4 without a lot of control. Leak will have one pushing out on aggressively. Gets it down onto Neo, the castle. He's got another one rotating through train. We'll get the finish. There's one playing really tight though on him. Yeah, that will be the end of him. The guy sitting in the corner runs out of the corner, gets killed by Hydros. He's got 7 seconds. Probably not enough time. He gets the kill. He's gonna have to go for plant 3, 2, 1. Plant going down. Hellboy knows it's down. Will Hellboy? Yeah, Hellboy cuts it remarkably close. Scares the living daylights out of me, but gets the kill. Will get the defuse. Increases my heartbeat by probably about 40 beats per second, and counting. But
that got very scary.
Oh no!
But man,
no!
Here's the thing though. If there's anybody that can, it's Capcan. So.
Oh god. Oh.
I knew it. I knew puns would work. It's fine. We're all good, chat. Don't flame me in the chat, okay? That was the one pun for the night. One dad joke.
Chat, I give you full permission to flame this man to no end.
Hey, in the end, the Capcan pick worked, okay? Capcan, alright.
I'm not sure we saw a single trap go off. But other than that...
The operator as a whole got the kill, so...
we see a really balanced scoreboard here from both teams, actually, which is something I like to see. We see Nameless a little bit ahead of the pack with 10 kills, Vexer falling a little behind with a 4, but everyone else hovering in 6, 7, and 8, and that's exactly what makes it a good Siege game. It's tied, the numbers are even. It's just been a good game.
It has been a very good game. I've been enjoying just watching this over and seeing how it progresses, because every round is so different. They don't go with the same setup. They don't go with the same push. I mean, last round, Grays ran into red, got a pick, and was still in the middle of red, just kind of like, hey, I'm here.
Deadbolt,
So
deadbolt sprint right through pillars, ran
yeah,
right
yeah.
by the reading room door. Person watching it, ran so fast through that the guys playing the top floor didn't have time to react or try to fight him. He just kept on running. There's a guy in train that had absolutely no reason to suspect that there would be a Zofia standing in Bread 90. Mute's just standing there trying to put down a jammer, gets a barrel put straight onto his face. But Graves gets that kill. There's nowhere to go. He just keeps on running. There happened to be a cap can who was finally ready to stop him so he gets out of laundry. But again, just entertaining. That's the type of stuff that you just look at and you say, well, that was fun. I hope that happens.
That was a fun round.
We'd see Hellboy on the cap can again. We have MMGL first Blackbeard cap can man, and I am 100% in favor of this.
I'm 100% down with that. Unorthodox operators for the win. Me personally being a Tachanka main, I appreciate everything about that. So
Tempest, nice shot. Picking up, that is a tough angle to hit a shot. He did it with a hollow sight right there. An auxiliary right off the bat, just plucked off the board. Good work there. Anticipating that angle, not only anticipating it, but actually executing on that anticipation and hitting a dandy of a shot.
Ying candles will no longer be a problem. That's for sure.
That is true. That is true. Ying is another one of those operators. It's like it fits in meta. What are you supposed to do as a caster when you flip from person to person and everyone is just looking at white? Lee gets himself a kill onto Hughes. Good work there. This team gonna start to make some progress now. Go try to peek in towards White Hall. Not the easiest fight to take as an attacker, but he will take it anyway. V-Graves picks off Neo, the castle, and Elysium has himself back in the advantage now. IQ finding the Vout cameras. Doing a good job with that. League prepping a grenade. Will it connect? No, it will not. And it looks like Hydros gets a kill on repels through and gets the kill, and Buck has made his way into Freezer. Hellboy is in a clutch situation. Capcan going to be a little more hard pressed to make something happen this time. He's got a Buck inside a bathroom. He will not be able to secure that kill. Yeah, will not be able to secure it. He's going to have to retreat. Gets the reload. Attacker's in hot pursuit. If he just got that double spray, he could have maybe made something of that round. He got a second down. Tidal Elysium playing a very dangerous game of chase right there. That right there is, they're on the highway to throwing around. If that wasn't, picture that being a Jaeger with the 416 and not Capcan with the 9x19. But this is a very different round right now.
I mean, that was a different round altogether. It was actually probably more of the, it was actually one of the more, not stale, but more of the standard kind of push. I was actually surprised to see it was more kind of standard than anything. And I mean, it worked brilliantly. I mean, they got on the site easily, they had control, and even though they almost threw, almost is a key word, because they almost threw, but they still won.
That was entirely too close to a throw for my comfort. That is redefining kill chasing.
For sure. Mission service again. What do you make of this site?
This would be my pick. They've had mixed success actually reading has been the only defensive site they have, which is concerning. When reading is the only site you have, things are not going in your favor more likely than not. This is one of those cases where things are certainly not in their favor right now. They are on down to match point. If they lose this round, they lose the match. Here in MMGL, we do play with overtime. We have because ties are for the weak. So we can see overtime here if Nameless can win this round. Oh my goodness, that reinforcement is late. That is dangerous. Will they punish him for it? No. The upside down repel, so he'll reinforce that one. But then when he tries to shotgun the wall open, he will get killed. Or when Leech shotguns the wall open. Good awareness by Tidal Elysium, knowing that the defenders were well behind schedule. That's a wall that needs to get reinforced much sooner than it was. And all of a sudden, Elysium has a clear entrance towards site. That grenade will miss and find its mark. That'll down the Wamai. They will go for the revive and get it, but things are about to get very interesting here for Nameless Esports. There is going to be a rush through this doorway in the very near future. 2 minutes on the clock. They have time. They don't need to push this aggressively. They will. Hughes will get the kill on V-Grade. Brings it back into a 4v4. What looked to be a very difficult journey for Nameless just got a lot easier. And they will take a second to slow down their push now. I say that as they start running, Neo gets the first kill. Better call Saul with one of his own. And all of a sudden we have a 2v3 situation as Exility gets one. Both play 2v2 as Neo's got looking garage. Oh, goodness gracious. 1v2. Exility gets his third in short succession. Picks off Hughes, and all of a sudden, Better Call Saul in a 1v2 to save the round and save the game. His position is known, but he does not seem to be aware of it both from Mar. He's looking for their sight. He gets flashed, running around, and will get killed by Exility with a 4K to end the game in his team's favor. Tidal Elysium completes the comeback from down 4-2 to winning 6-5. Well done by them. They take the win.
I gotta say, man, that was one hell of a game. Tidal Elysium, back and watch this. Congratulations on that, because that was one hell of a game. I really appreciated watching that, and I think I can speak for Treg saying that was one hell of a game. That was one hell of a game.
Very good game.
Wasn't too sure at the beginning, when they were on their defense. Somehow just attacker after attacker after attacking around, they just kept winning, and I got a little scared. But Tidal Elysium pulled it out. They came on attack and they said, we're so much better on attack. They didn't bring any hard breaches, I don't think, the entire time. And they pretty much peaked at the speed of sound, or just ran through pillars in Red Hall and got picks. So
yeah, just well played by Tidal Elysium. At the end of the day, I think strategically they didn't do anything especially profound. They just got the better of Nameless in the gunfight towards the end there.
That'll probably go down in the annals of this season. That was a very good game. Very good comeback.
Yeah, so that is the end of that game. We will try to get V-Grays in for an interview if he is willing. Waiting for word back from him, but a great night here at MMGL. So that is all 3 matches of the Smythe division having been played so far. We're starting to see that division take shape. Let's taking a look at MMGL standings. In Division 1, we haven't seen a single Division 1 game played, but we will have one of those for you tomorrow, at least, with MMG Sanctus Regibus. I believe the Oathsworn Gaming versus Slinky Esports game is being played as we speak. Division 2, we saw MMG United beat Demonic Templars by a score of 7-3. Tomorrow we will see MMG Storm versus Bearded Dragons. and Fallen Kings versus Nomad, I believe, as well.
Yes, sir.
So
That is what it is.
So those are going to be some good games tomorrow from the Division 2, the Patrick Division. Division are in the Norris. Earlier today, we saw Third Eye Titan to beat Zero Gravity. And we saw Red today defeat Slammed Esports via forfeit, which leaves Prometheus.
That's always unfortunate.
Yes, indeed. Which leaves Prometheus versus Outfits. And in this Smythe division, we now have week 1 complete with Tidal Elysium, Final Shot, and Farside taking the top spots in reverse order of what I just said, with Rampant Methods, Zero Gravity Flare, and Nameless being down.
I gotta say, this Smythe division is. I'm liking the looks of this Smythe division, man. It's looking real good. I appreciate it a lot. So, congrats on the Smythe division that won, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
So we're going to take a quick break here. We have V-Grays coming in for an interview. We will be back in a couple of minutes. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in a few minutes. All right, everyone, and welcome back. We have V-Grays here, captain of Tidal Elysium, formerly known as Tidal Onyx, formerly known as the Romanians, formerly known as Pub Armada. V-Grays, has been a busy 2 weeks for you and your team, but here we are. You've made it to MMGL week 1. You've pulled off a comeback victory to put yourself in a good position to start the week. So how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. Going into this match, we actually practiced a lot for Villa, but then with the new map bans, we weren't expecting to play Coast, but we do have strats on it, so I figured, Coast would be. I mean, not Coast. Cafe would be a good map.
I was about to say,
we weren't expecting you to play Coast either. Game on Cafe. Oh yeah, you guys played well today. There's definitely some interesting stuff that we didn't expect to see. Let's start this off with that Pillars rush. We're sitting there, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, looks like he's gonna make his way into Pillars, peek into Reading. Nope, he's not peeking Reading. Nope, he's not peeking the balcony. Nope, he's not peeking Train. He's running into Red 90. Poor Better Call Saul, the mute, was just sitting there completely unaware. What was going through your mind as you sprinted literally to the center point of the map trying to take gunfights?
Okay, so what I thought to myself is I know my team is good. So the way we operate is usually they push and they, roam clear, push site, whatever, whatever. And I do the little tidbits. Like I'll pick up the roamers, I'll set up, flank watch, stuff like that. So when I droned, I saw mute running. Then I think I saw cap can. And then I heard somebody reinforcing. So I said to myself, they're not set up yet. Maybe I can get one or two to, tip the favors in our team's way. And then I saw the mute slam them. And then I couldn't figure out where the capcan was shooting me from until it was too late.
Yeah, I was watching it from your perspective. I knew the guy was reinforced because we have the overlay. He was reinforcing in train, and you just kept on running right past him. I was just, where's this madman going? But it was,
I gotta say, my mind was blown when that happened. I watched it. I was like, I think my jaw physically dropped. I was like, that was that's such a fun play to see.
It was certainly an impressive shot, to say the least. Just a well played round by you guys. I think it actually turned into a loss, but you guys made a comeback on. So let's rewind a little bit. We all know that Cafe is more of a defensive sided map, and you guys were down 4-2 coming out of that first half. What do you think went wrong to start there?
Our team was just a little shaky. We were dying early to stupid stuff. We weren't getting hatches. We weren't reinforcing. So around halftime, I said to my team, look, they are winning and they're not even bringing breaches. They're just like spending a lot of time doing like the miscellaneous stuff. So what we need to do is be super aggressive attacking, super aggressive. Jump in, guns blazing, win your gunfights. And we did just that.
Yeah, it was definitely a good transition for you on the attack. We noticed that you kept up the aggression, but it definitely worked a lot better. There were a few rounds I got about that defensive half where you died in the first 10 seconds, and I was trying to figure out what exactly even happened. But great job with the adaptation. You guys really turned it around there and brought out a good win. Got close there at the end, but
I was telling that Yang, I'm like, you gotta finish it. Like he got the first kill, then he got the second kill. I'm like, keep going, keep going. Then he laid out the Jaeger. I'm like, yeah,
yep.
GG's.
Oh, that was a lovely 4K to close it out there for Exility. Yeah, just a good game all around. A great conclusion to this night of MMG streams. Looking forward to those of you still left in the stream. We got 3 games for you tomorrow, including MMG Storm and MMG Void going to be playing. 2 returning semifinalists and our returning champion. So if you're looking for see them back in action, should be some good games tomorrow. I know I'm looking forward to it. So I hope everyone's ready for those, has themselves a good night, stays healthy and stays safe. Stay home, please. For the love of God, stay home. And have yourselves all a good night. Thank you, everyone.